So we've made it to the other side of the election, a step away from the precipice, away from chaos, so it feels. But, chaos has a cognitive cost. Many of us understand this at some level, having strained to function normally for months now in a jerry-rigged approximation of normal life. But what we haven't known, because I'm not sure it's possible to know it, is that all this coping has side effects whose dysfunctional aspects we can't see yet. We are busy right now doing our jobs, if we have them, in strained and definitely suboptimal circumstances. No one has everything well in hand. If you live on the West Coast, you're keeping out of the smoke. If you're living in the South, maybe you're evacuating for hurricanes. If you're doing the right thing, staying home, you might see crowds acting as if the normality you miss exists and feel that you're making a pointless sacrifice. Add to this that nothing is stable. We're witnessing a long, slow, unacknowledged collapse while Trump and his enablers manufacture grievances and new details come to light again and again and again of the administration's corruption, dishonesty, incompetence, and pure malice. Put simply, we haven't been able to pause or take stock or mourn. I don't know if trauma is the right concept for what we've been enduring, but to the extent that the word is defined as an inability to process a distressing event in the moment, it seems to qualify. More than 225,000 people have died of the COVID virus in this country alone. And they were alone and unseen. Many vanished without funerals or memorials. And there's been no national recognition or collective observance. That the president can't adequately acknowledge the dead beyond saying, it is what it is a tragedy because, in this sense at least, he matters terribly. It is the task of a leader to integrate our losses into a larger story. As a nation, we have traditions, we have rites that mark shared grief, flags at half-mast, or the moment of silence to publicly mourn the dead. But the Trump administration has decided to forgo markers of this kind. The Democratic National Convention came close. Unusually for political theater, it left room for sadness. And for that reason, it was strangely cathartic. In the meantime, citizens have had to endure lie after insulting lie. That many of us have learned to see through this should be a good thing. A skeptical citizenry is certainly better than the alternative, but many of us have come to reflexively distrust official channels and institutions on which we used to depend. It's hard to overstate the damage the CDC and the FDA have suffered when Americans watched them cave into political pressure, change their recommendations, betraying the public to suit the president's desires. Conspiracy theories thrive in this kind of climate. QAnon has become a disseminator of improbably popular and truly unhinged conspiracy theories. And on the left, there's nothing comparable, but it does suffer from a hypercorrective impulse that sometimes reads too much cunning into Trumpian dishonesty. When Trump's COVID-19 diagnosis was finally reported, for example, thousands of people openly wondered whether it was genuine and what, if it wasn't genuine, the real strategy might be. Many respond, and you're surprised whenever news of some fresh Trumpian horror drops. It's a reflex that suggests We're medicating hopelessness. The good news, for now, and probably only temporarily, is that something has changed. We're on the way to a different future.